Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is weighing in on the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry part-time move to Canada. The Queen has agreed to a transition period for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex that would be splitting their time between the UK and Canada. The announcement coming after a family meeting on Monday. Now the question is, who's going to pay for their security?
I think most Canadians are very supportive of having royals be here, but how that looks and what kind of costs is involved, there's still lots of discussions.
So no answers yet on whether we're going to pay for this or not, but let's find out maybe how much it would cost us and what it means from a security point of view. I'm joined by former RCMP officer Larry Busch, who has directed security for the royal family. In what capacity, Larry?
Oh, I've been connected with the royal family back when the Queen first visited Nova Scotia and PEI back in the early 70s, and through a number of their visits through Toronto, as well as the Royal Yacht Britannia. I've been pretty much elbow to elbow with the Queen on occasion.
Wow, that's really interesting, Larry. And I look forward to your perspective on this, because what we're wondering is, of course, we don't know who's going to pay for it, but what would the implications of their move mean from a security standpoint? What would it look like?
Well, first of all, it would start with a risk assessment on behalf of the RCMP. Would look at historically from the British security personnel, what kind of security situations have this royal couple had while their time in Britain, residential, while they're traveling, online threats, that type of thing. So that would give the RCMP some information to step off with. Now, of course, the RCMP would have to look at their future residents, the building, the grounds, their travel, domestic personnel, etc., security of communications. All of those things would have to be looked at. And the royals, of course, would also be involved in those discussions, because I don't believe the royals are used to setting up their own security, because in the UK, they've moved into established security. When they come to Canada, if they buy or rent a residence, they're going to have to look at what kind of security the house has, alarms or video cameras, the grounds, is there a fence, that type of thing. So that'll be new to them.
So would it be 24-hour security for them? And I know, like, for example, the Obamas, they live on a street that has a gatehouse, and it's a gated street. Is that the kind of thing that they'd be living in here? Is that what the RCMP would ask them to do?
There would be something similar to that. It would not be at the level the previous presidents are accustomed to, but I would expect that there is going to be 24/7 security. Now, if the rumors are true and the house that they're looking at sits right on the ocean, that also complicates security as well, because now you have water access to the residents, and it's in close proximity to the city of Vancouver and also to the United States. So there's not just land traffic, there's also boat traffic that is to be concerned.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, now I know you don't have a calculator in front of you, but when we're talking about how much their move would cost for Canadian taxpayers, do you have a ballpark and how costly it'd be for us?
That's a really hard number to put my finger on. But as I said, I think there's initial cost for the setup, and I think there's going to be negotiation between the British royal family, the British government, the Canadian government, and the royals as to who should pay for what portion of it. As I said, the setup may initially be expensive, and I think as the security runs through the day-to-day security processes, I think that security will be adjusted, likely in a smaller fashion. But right off the top, I think they have to start with a responsible level of security and then adjust it as time goes by. The price, difficult. There's probably at least a couple of dozen RCMP in a full-time situation, and the resources. Now, mind you, all of that talk of cost may be offset by the tourism that is going to be brought into the area. And of course, mind you, tourism also brings some problems with it also.
Right. All right. Larry, thank you so much for your insight. It's really invaluable given your experience. Thanks again.
Thank you, Farah. A pleasure.